I'm going to start with some facts. 503 Minnesotans died by a firearm in 2020. That's almost 100 more people than 5 years prior. And about 2/3 of those who died by a firearm were deaths by suicide. This is a trend that mirrors the uptick across the United States and one that Democrats in Minnesota are trying to curb this session. Now, this is obviously not the first time gun control issues have come up at our state capitol. Last session, a public safety package passed that expanded background checks and allowing family members to petition a judge to temporarily remove guns from somebody who might be a threat to other people or to themselves. And tonight, John Croman is in St. Paul talking about the bills they're trying to push through this time around. John, what's different?
Hey, Jana, you're right. Last year was the big year for gun control here at the Capitol. They did universal background checks and the red flag protection orders. This year, the Democrats are targeting lost and stolen firearms, basically trying to enact bills that will keep those guns from getting into the wrong hands.
His death left the whole community traumatized.
Daquan Jones Morris posed for his senior photos in November of 2019, just days before his life ended at the age of 17.
I raised both of my children to be great young men. Daquan was loved by so many of his peers. He was funny. He taught his teachers the newest dance moves. He stood up for kids who were being bullied.
The captain of the Sibley High football team had friends over to play video games. One of them brought a gun he'd found on the street.
Not knowing the gun was loaded, he aimed it and pulled the trigger, and it hit my son in the chest. Both boys did render aid to my son while waiting for EMTs, but my son did not make it. The owner of this gun has still not been held accountable.
Monica Jones appeared at the Capitol in support of legislation that would require gun owners to report lost or stolen firearms within 48 hours. Democrat Quali Herr, a gun owner, is carrying that bill.
We don't want to punish people. What we want to do is encourage people to be a part of a system that is responsible for this. So if you report it and something happens and it's used, in an incident, then you're not held responsible for that. We think that that's really important.
The more controversial measure would require gun owners to lock up their firearms at home and store them separately from ammunition.
Less than 50% of Minnesotans who own guns are safely securing them all the time. So for us, this is really a tool to help all gun owners understand that it's your responsibility as someone practicing safe gun ownership to keep that gun safely stored at all times.
The safe storage bill that's been introduced is saying that you can't even have a loaded firearm at home for self-defense. It has to be completely separate from the ammunition and rendered useless, which not only just defies the purpose of having a firearm for self-defense, it violates some Supreme Court precedent as well.
Rob Dorr represents the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus at the Capitol.
But what we're seeing is that the laws that are being introduced treats a farmer with a shotgun on his porch to keep coyotes away from his livestock the same way as a daycare operator with children in the home. And that's a one-size-fits-all solution isn't best for just the way that people operate in Minnesota.
Democrats are also seeking permission to use federal Medicaid money to pay for violence prevention professionals in community settings, like those working with gunshot victims at HCMC.
So we're there to rehumanize folks because being shot is not normal. So we have to have a not normal response as we're responding to folks coming up to the hospital to be healed, because that's what we're trying to do.
We know from data that when we can get the service out to folks, it breaks the cycle of folks going back into the community to harm other folks, because we also know that hurt people, and we're trying to break that cycle.
So breaking the cycle is one of the things those violence prevention professionals do at HCMC, trying to keep people from going and retaliating. And the reason Medicaid pays for it, and they've got 7 other states doing it this way, is Medicaid sees it as a way to save lives and also cut down on the cost to the taxpayers of treating gunshot injuries. And Jana, back on the lost and stolen firearms part, they say that one reason they want to do this is because sometimes people will sell a gun to someone who's not authorized to have a gun. They're a felon who's prohibited, and they'll sell the gun to them, and then when they're asked about it, they're like, no, I didn't sell it, I lost that gun. I don't know how they got that gun. So that's one of the reasons behind this.
That makes sense, and that's top of mind this week because of what happened in Burnsville. So timely information from the Capitol. Thank you, John Croman.